Welcome back, everybody, to episode 2, playing as the Confederacy in the 1861 campaign here on Grand Tactician: The Civil War. A couple of things I'm going to do right off the bat here as we're at the end of April 1861. I'm going to add an additional policy available by increasing the subsidy. I'm also going to increase the subsidies for recruitment, which I'm hoping will allow us to recruit more troops and free us up to get troops from a couple of the states we haven't been able to get them from so far. Let's see how that all works out. All right, well, looking out to the west now, we have our Western Army marching out of Fort Smith, Arkansas with only 2,200 men. They're going to head up to Carrollton. We're going to start beefing them up a little bit. We also need to form them into divisions. They are a corps size command. But we can go ahead and we'll start with some cavalry. And this is going to be Slick Jack's unit. Let's see if we have enough Missouri boys. We do. Excellent news. So he's requested the Shelby Iron Brigade. It's going to be Missouri Cavalry. So let's go ahead and switch over to cavalry. He did request that we do something that doesn't have the kepi hat. So a brimmed hat. This is the best we can do, but they look kind of cool. They're a very different looking unit. Butternut coats and blue trousers. We can definitely make that happen. We'll see which of the blue works better. I think that works pretty good. I don't know. I think we'll go with that. Commanded by Joseph Shelby. We'll see if he's available or not. And then he requested that we have Sharp's carbines if possible. And I think we can probably get those. Either that or shotguns. So they start with shotguns. Let's see what's available. We may not be able to get Sharps yet. Okay, production. We can produce Sharps. Excellent news. There you go. Sharps carbines. Let's go ahead and get them renamed. They're going to be the Shelby Iron Brigade. There you have it. All right, we do need to build this army up just a little more. Although I think I did just add some infantry to them. These guys have 1,000 men. These guys have about the same. I'm actually going to combine them into one. And then we're going to switch them over to Springfields. Oh, they're not researched yet. We're going to have to get Enfields. All right. I keep forgetting that. Hopefully once we unlock some more technology, we'll be able to get those Springfields. And we definitely need to upgrade these 6-pounders. We'll go to 12-pound Napoleons. They're relatively cheap to upgrade because we do have a nice amount of standardization happening there. That's going to get us up to almost 5,000 men in that army. All right, another unit. We're going to be adding some artillery to the Army of Northern Virginia, and this is going to be the Polish artillery. This is Scott Aaron's unit. I requested white jackets, red pants. These are white, even though they look gray. I think when they're on the field, they'll look a little more white. Polish artillery is what we're going to call them. They're going to be from Georgia, which is also where our Irishmen are from, so that's kind of cool. So we'll go ahead and get them added. They're going to be right here under Whiting in Buckner's 2nd Corps of the Army of Northern Virginia. Let's get them switched over to 12-pounder Napoleons. I've noticed that the 12-pounder Napoleons are going up in price depending on where I'm recruiting them. That also might be because it's a bigger unit. I'm not sure. But Polish artillery it is. There you go. All right. Just as I've been sitting here watching, I see new units forming in the west. There's the Department of the Ohio. We see a 1st Corps and a new 26th Army that hasn't been named yet, but I can imagine that's going to be the army that's going to be facing a showdown against our Army of Tennessee and maybe others. We're moving our Army of Tennessee up here towards central Tennessee near Nashville. What I want to do is I actually want to build the historic forts as they existed on the Tennessee and Cumberland rivers up here, although I'm going to probably build them a little further north. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I might build a fort up here in Paducah. But Fort Henry, Fort Donelson were historically on the inside, so I think Fort Henry would have been right here. Fort Donelson was over here. We're going to get them built and have them well manned so they can take on any Union movement that happens. All right, we're waiting on the 1st Corps Army of Tennessee to arrive in place. I'm thinking actually that one fort between the two, just because of how things work in this game, would probably suffice rather than having to build separate forts on each side. So once the 1st Corps gets here, hopefully we'll find a spot where that will be possible. All right, there is a couple of spots here. Perfect. All right, we're gonna call it Fort Donelson, and it's actually, I guess technically it looks like it's on the Cumberland River rather than the Tennessee, but that's okay. Either way works. All right, let's go ahead and add another unit here. This is going to be the Lone Star Brigade out of Texas. That's Carson Horn's unit, and he said white trousers, or blue trousers, white jackets. That is white, as I said before, even though it doesn't necessarily look like it. So the Lone Star Brigade is going to be in a new division we're creating for the Army of Tennessee. It's going to take them about a month to get there, so we may not see them in action for a while, but they definitely will be. We're going to go ahead and start moving the Western Army into southwest Missouri. We've actually got a Missouri State Guard under Sterling Price, 2,600 troops. Now, assuming, as I believe this to be, a group of Missouri men, these Missouri State Guard, troops like this Missouri State Guard, I think there's a South Carolina militia, they suffer a dramatic drop in morale if they leave their home state. Some of these units, they're just meant for kind of operating within their home state and not really anywhere else. The Department of the West has 1,600 men, so we're probably going to need to help out that Missouri State Guard as soon as we can. So we're going to start moving for Springfield, Missouri, and then we'll probably go from there up to Rolla, and then we'll probably move up to Franklin. All right, Jesse, we got to talk about this one, buddy. We're going to do it, but this is going to be a very interesting name. Jesse has requested a unit from Virginia to be called, actually, these aren't from Virginia, a unit to be called the Super Duper Stormtroopers. Now, I'm going to honor that request, but that's quite an interesting name you have there. I don't know if we have enough Virginia troops right now, so we may be waiting just a little while, like some of the other units, on being able to do that. Yeah, we're a little short on Virginia, but we only need about 500 men, so we'll get that pretty soon. So for the time being, I'm just looking at some of the subsidies that are available to us and what each one of those allows. So diplomacy, if I invest in diplomacy, it's going to give me better import and export prices and availability of weapon imports. So right now, we're not going to focus too much on that. I am going to ramp up, already did this actually, ramped up investment in industry, benefits for heavy industry boosting productivity and profitability. Agriculture, benefits for farms and plantations, boosting productivity, profitability. Nothing in transportation right now, though that may become something necessary at some point. I'm not going to invest anything in trade war for the time being. That's going to save me money that I can put elsewhere. I'm ramping up recruitment really high so I can hopefully get some more available troops in some of those other states. For all of the men that I have recruited thus far, and I dropped down civil order, I'm barely keeping up with him in terms of men in the field. No matter what I do, he seems to say just a little bit ahead of me. Now, that's not a huge deal. I'm okay with being outnumbered as the Confederacy was because I feel like I can beat him on the field. But at some point, we're going to have to fight him. He's got the Army of Northeastern Virginia, which is finally moving, it appears. It was kind of set up in Philadelphia. Let's see how many men they've got. They've got 9,000 men. So honestly, Jackson's First Corps could kind of take them on by themselves, I think. They've only got 8,500 men right now. There's another army, though, right here, the 29th Army that hasn't been named yet, and it's got another 10,000 men. So Second Corps is in range, that if the First Corps gets attacked, the Second Corps will come to assist. But they've only got about half of their full strength of 12,000 men. Okay, last unit we'll be able to do for now based on the current recruitment numbers that we have. And that's going to be the Oregon Volunteers. We're going to make them a North Carolina unit. I like the look with the green jacket and black pants with this particular style. It just, that seems like Oregon to me. I don't know why. But we'll go ahead and name them and get them some better guns. Right now they have mixed muskets, so we're going to give them the Enfields. We don't have any standardization yet. I'm hoping that'll happen at some point. So that'll give an additional brigade to Stonewall Jackson's men. We'll need to get another one added in there. We need to add some cavalry to Buckner's Second Corps. But our army's starting to take shape. British declared neutrality, Royal Navy to avoid American ports, any blockades to be monitored by Admiral Milne, the Admiralty to reinforce Milne, 4,300 regular British troops in Canada. So there's that. We probably won't see anything about British intervention, at least for a little while, on the screen. Where is the Union invasion happening? Department of the West in St. Louis. Okay. So because Missouri is actually a Confederate state in our version of history, the Department of West is technically on our soil. So the Western Army's just about arrived there. So now we're going to start moving them up a little further. It's May 15th. Not a lot of action happening right now because the Union's pretty well sitting tight, building his force up. So we've got Fort Donelson, and it's armed with 3,000 men. They're going to be getting some artillery as well. So we're going to go ahead and bring Wilcox over here to Paducah, and we may go ahead and strike on Cairo. Cairo, Illinois, right here at the tip, was kind of the launching off point and the supply base for a lot of the early action for the Union going into western Kentucky, Tennessee, southeast Missouri. All right, here we go. First Corps Army of Northern Virginia is in contact with the Army of Northeastern Virginia. Let's do this. I don't know what we'll be facing, but we will be getting reinforcements from the Second Corps. So this may end up being a Manassas-sized battle by the time it's all said and done. So to start, we're going to be outnumbered, 12,000 to about 9,000. Of course, that's just an estimate of the Union strength. Of course, half of ours is infantry. The rest is cavalry and artillery. But we're going to be fighting on the Antietam battlefield. Same spot right here might be the place to try and hold our army while we wait for that Second Corps to reinforce us. I don't know if we'll actually get him to attack again like we did before, but that would be fantastic if we can defend the exact same ground. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Well, here's where it gets fun. We're going to defend the exact same spot with the exact same men. Junaluska Zouaves are going to hold the same spot here. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep their whole brigade right there. We'll probably break off some skirmishers. We're going to send the 24th Irish Volunteers, who are the only other infantry we currently have. We're going to actually have them defending on this crossing here. And we'll move this artillery down a little bit over to here. And then I've got Ringo's Riders up here guarding the other potential crossing site, or they're supposed to be. I don't know why they're back here. I sent them up here. But let's just reissue that order. We'll have everybody up on the front. I don't see any movement yet, except they're up around Nicodemus Hill, it appears. Somebody suggested after yesterday's episode that I should have built breastworks here. The thing about breastworks is I believe they can only be started at the beginning of the day. You can select them and try to build them during the rest of the day, but I don't think it'll actually happen. I've only been able to build breastworks at the start of a day and not kind of in between. All right, we're at the end of the day, but we don't have any engineering points available. I'm not entirely sure how you gain new engineering points, but I do know that you can't build breastworks, I don't believe, without engineering points. So we'll give this a try and we'll see. Let's get over here and see if we can find a spot where it'll allow me to actually do this. Yeah. See, breastworks aren't going to happen without those engineering points. So we'll just dig in and hope for the best here. All right, well, I was noticing that he was making his way down on the opposite side of Antietam Creek. He had just captured the lower bridge. And so I was sending my cavalry over to observe that, when lo and behold, my 2nd Corps reinforcements began to arrive. So Van Dorn's division, let's see if we can just pick up the whole corps here. That's Buckner. And the easiest way to do this is just to work our way up this way. So let's get the whole 2nd Corps, all 9,000 men, give them some orders. We're going to organize them right around here, and then we're going to push that way. So this is some really high ground here with a valley in between, so there's no way he's going to be able to spot me at this point. Once we get everybody into place, we're going to go ahead and march up and over that hill. Actually, we may go down through this valley and come out the other side. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do this yet. But let's take a look. We've got the 6th Alabama Infantry, some French Zouaves, VMI cadets, some artillery there with 12-pounders. I think that's pretty much everybody so far anyway. All right, let's go ahead and move this whole force up through and on the other side right there. Hopefully he's not in this area, or we might run into a problem. I might want to put out some skirmishers just to be safe. So we're marching mostly down the road through the valley here. We do have some units, mainly it's the VMI cadets that are going up and over the hill. It looks like it's going to be Longstreet's brigade. No, it's actually Duncan's artillery that's going to be first on the other side. We're going to park them up on this hill up here. I have no idea where the Yankees are. For all I know, they might have snuck up around this other side. I might go ahead and bring this cavalry across, see if we can try and spot them. That's kind of weird that that's saying that's Longstreet's division. Oh, it must have been what it was called before I moved Longstreet over to the infantry. No idea where they've gone. Oh, they've gone into Sharpsburg because they've just taken that. So let's halt Pickett and just keep him right where he is. Okay, we've spotted him. Looks like he's sitting right in here somewhere. And the nice thing is we're in such a place numerically, unless he's gotten reinforcements of his own, which I don't think he has, to where we can kind of push with the 2nd Corps now and maybe try to drive him toward my 1st Corps in an attack that he doesn't want to make. But let's go ahead and cross Burnside Bridge with this division here. That's only one brigade in Longstreet's division right now. And then we've got the artillery. All right, we've lost him again. He's pulled back somewhere. He may be headed this way now. There they are. They're headed right for me. Looks like we see William Tecumseh Sherman. He's definitely got a lot more men coming toward this defensive position than he did last time, but our guns are ready. They're opening up. But we don't want to rely just on these 2 brigades this time. Looks like the 24th Irish Volunteers may take the brunt of this time around. We're going to come to their aid as quickly as we can and turn the Yankees' flank, assuming, again, that he doesn't get reinforcements from that other army that I know is lurking out there. It just depends on what their stance was. If they didn't have the proper stance, it doesn't matter. because they won't reinforce. But we're going to send the entire, what we have of the 2nd Corps, and move them up while we see what happens here. Boy, this seems familiar, doesn't it? Bring it on, Yankees. See if you can fare better than your brethren did. Oh, is he going to try and cross over there? He very well might. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to have to shift. Oh, maybe not. I'm just not sure what he's going to do. I don't know if he can cross over here. I think he can. That's alright, we're coming. Here they come. And it looks like they may be sending everybody this time. Boys in gray out front. The 1st Brigade. Now, you know, the first Battle of Bull Run, 1st Manassas, there were a lot of Confederates in blue uniforms, a lot of Yankees in gray uniforms, and a lot of other uniforms besides. There were a lot of instances of friendly fire. Especially in that first battle with troops seeing combat for the very first time. The Irish boys, kind of like on Marie's Heights at Fredericksburg. Boy, this is eerily familiar to that, isn't it? We've got 15 guns in the Rockbridge artillery, 12-pounder Napoleons. We've got an additional 23 guns, 12-pounder Napoleons in Mercer's battalion. Just going to rain lead down on these guys. It's going to be awful. How close to my other corps? Man, he's got a lot of troops this time. Let's get them up there, boys. Alexander's going to get there first. I'm going to go ahead and push him forward. Absolutely brutal. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and bring... Where are they? They're in there. I just can't really see them that well. Why are they broken? Oh, McClaws is over here. That's right. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring McClaws over on this side, the Junaluska Zouaves, who so valiantly defended this position last time. And just when the Yankees think it can't get worse, it's gonna get worse. Let's get Hardy up there. French Zouaves. We got Alexander and the 6th Alabama Infantry getting into position. What a disaster for the Yankees. Now, he is prepared for it. These are only militia, though. Alright, we don't want Alexander getting too far out front. Let's get these guns up here. That's his skirmishers there. I don't know how well we're going to be able to see what's going on down here in these woods. Here comes again, 3 brigades. Keys is already broken. Alright, let's move Hardy up. Alright, now he's shifting over toward this side. That could end up being a problem for me because I moved the Junaluska Zouaves over there. And I kind of left that back door open to him. And I shouldn't have. Oh no, I'm gonna let him get across. I should have at least left some skirmishers there to cover that. And we can't really shift Alexander because he's got men to his front. What about Alexander's skirmishers? Oh, smart move by the Union. I didn't expect him to sneak in there like that. How many men is that? Only 1,000, but still. Our guns are trying to cover the crossing by multiple brigades. I guess it's probably a good thing I've got the Zouaves over there. Wow, look at all this fire. You gotta cross. Alright, we gotta push. Let's get the VMI cadets up. Guns are firing, but I need to move them up closer. Looks like Porter's going to get across, and he's going to wreak havoc on my artillery now. Casualties just have to be atrocious for the Union. I have 9 killed, 66 wounded. He's lost 2,000 men. Wow. That same spot. Look at the blue dead piling up in front of me. VMI cadets are in contact. Butler's Ford is lost. That's this crossing over here. All VMI cadets have already moved up, that's why. Man, not a single man lost in either unit. Oh, thank goodness that was a victory. His morale broke enough because Porter had gotten across, and that could have been a problem for me. I only lost 131 men. Oh boy, that spot now has been. You would think the Union would have learned the first time, but I guess not. All right, so it was General Villepigue who became a national hero for that one. Colonel Sherman loses face. Boy, did we just change history. Because Sherman, historically, William Tecumseh Sherman, commanded a brigade at the Battle of Bull Run, and by all accounts, did pretty well for himself as a brigade commander, and then he was sent west after that, and that was when he kind of had some real battles with mental health issues that nearly derailed him and nearly drove him to suicide, and by his own admission, the only reason he didn't take his own life during those early months of the war was because of his children. So it was a real battle of strength and will on Sherman's part to be able to overcome what he was facing. This happens every so often. All of the policies that were selected kind of pop back up. Now, that was the second battle. Now, typically, from what I've read, this is where you have the glitch and it crashes going into the third battle. And it looks like he's formed another army up here. So what I'm going to probably do You can see we actually outnumber the Union now. What I'm going to probably do is go ahead and exit out and do a little repair to the game because someone said that that will kind of solve the issue. All right, here we go again. Now it's the 1st Corps, Army of Northern Virginia, in contact with the 1st Corps of the 29th Army. It says it's got 11,000 men, so it'll be really interesting to see if this also gets fought on the Antietam battlefield or if we get moved to a different one. All right, looks like we're going to be outnumbered to start here, and we are once again on the Antietam battlefield. We're going to start over on this side. I don't know if we can possibly go to that same spot a 3rd time. I think we're going to not do that. We do have the 2nd Corps coming to our relief again, but again, it's going to take some time for that to happen. All right, this time around, we've decided to be aggressive. We've moved up just south of Dunker Church, and that's where we're going to meet the Union. I've got my 2 infantry brigades, Jones, 24th Volunteers, Junaluska Zouaves under McClaws right here. And they're going to run headlong into the Union right about where the first main attack happened at the Battle of Antietam. Which, by the way, the anniversary is tomorrow for that. September 17th. Get our artillery into position. I've got Ringo's riders dismounted and ready to fight here. Let's go ahead and move them up. They've got a decent range there. Let's pick it who's commanding that unit. Why are we going that way, boys? I just sent you the other way. Are they getting on the road to do this? Is that what's happening? I don't know. I just hope they get in position really fast. Come on. Oh, they mounted up to move forward a little ways. Okay. All right. Dismount. And get in position, please. Nice thing is we got a lot of artillery. Once again, Junaluska Zouaves right at the center of it. Alright, guys. Let's dismount and stay that way this time. Now they've got Enfield musketoons. 3.5 rounds a minute. Guys aren't firing. Not entirely sure why. Maybe if we move them up. I promise we're going to see a lot more action from the other units. I know we've been getting a lot of this particular unit, but that's just because that's where he's been attacking early. But we've got a lot of other units we're eventually going to see in combat. Just kind of the way it's worked out so far. Oh. Alright, let's see if these guns are firing now. Hopefully they will once they're in position. Alright, let's see if we have a better estimate on numbers now. We do, and he's got me by about 2,300 men at the moment. Not a huge deal, though, really. We're behind this little fence right here, which should help. Except only a few of these guys are actually firing at the moment. Might need to just shift them over a hair. Let's see if we can do that. And let's go ahead and bring these guys up. Get some flanking fire going. Still can't get these guns to fire. My other ones are, though. Although I'm not sure they can see very well. Let's move them up. Oh, I guess we're just going to do that. Alright. Now they're moving. Alright, we just got to keep an eye on casualties. Their cover's good. They're well rested. They're still showing as untrained. It's pretty early in the war. It's only May 1861. Really like to get these guns firing. He's still bunching up a little bit. That is something they're working on fixing in the AI. Is the way that the AI can sometimes bunch up, like so. Especially when he's got numbers on me. He shouldn't be doing that. Alright, pretty solid spot we've got. Really like to get these guns firing. Where are these guys going? Oh, they're moving up. I'm pretty content to just sit tight where we are. Alright, now he's getting smart. He's going to try to get out on my flank. Going to do to me on my left what I'm doing him on his left. Where Ringo's riders haven't lost a man yet. Let's see how we're doing. Oh yeah, beautifully. I mean, it's not quite as one-sided as it was when we were defending that position, but oh, now he, wow, why didn't he continue that movement? Alright, we'll just keep shooting it out. Look at all the dead again. Alright, let's speed this along. Oh, here he comes. I thought he was going to launch a melee attack. He thought about it too. Yeah, you're done, dude. Now he's getting on my flank. What's it showing here? Enemy behind cover. What cover is he behind? It must be the woods. Alright, so we're gonna have to shift again. Although I don't know that I really want to, especially if we're not showing being outflanked at the moment. And most of his brigade's not firing on me. They've lost 562 men. We're about to get Iron Discipline 2 for the Irish Volunteers. That'll be nice. They'll be one step away. Holy cow, they've lost 700 men? I didn't realize they were taking that many casualties. But they're going to be one step away from being an elite unit once they get up to level 3 with Iron Discipline. So let's hope they can hold on that long. Alright, let's move these guys up some more. Taking a lot of casualties. That's because I guess basically all those men were firing on them. So there we go. We lost 1,300 men. which is substantial considering how few we have. So we've really got to get Jackson's corps built up. He's down to just, what, about 4,400 infantry. All right, while we've been recording, I got another request in from a patron, and this is one we had before. This is the Carolean Guard. They're going to be from Missouri, or not Missouri, Maryland, so they should get there fairly quickly into Jackson's corps. In fact, 2 days. We've got 7 days until the Oregon Volunteers arrive. We should probably get some more cavalry at some point. Let's see where we're at on the New York Copperheads. 10 days still. Once all those arrive, we'll be up to 25,000 men in the Army of Northern Virginia. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move the Western Army to take St. Louis back from the Department of the West. I don't think he's got a lot of men to take me on there. I want to see where his men are, though, because he's got a pretty decent-sized army. I just don't know where they are. So here's the 26th Army, 1,400 men. He's just now building that one up. First Corps of that army, 1,400 men. So these are all brand new units. So where in the world are the 120,000 men that he has in his army? I wonder. Army of Northeastern Virginia, all told, only has about 7,000 men. There's another 29th Army here that seems to be moving back, 7,500 men. And then whatever he's got in and around Washington. So he's starting to blockade my port at Memphis, which could cause some issues down the road. So we do have 7 ships, 23 guns available to us. We're going to have to send them all the way up the Mississippi to the relief of Memphis. I believe these 2 squadrons only each have 1 ship in them at the moment. So Fort Donelson's here. Let's move the Army of Tennessee headquarters up here to where the First Corps is. I think we might be ready to go ahead and move across and see if we can take Cairo. It's going to take some time for those orders to be received, 42 hours in fact. Okay, we got about 8,000 men available to us to take St. Louis. He's only got about 2,000 defending, so we're going to go ahead and auto-resolve that one. Here come the Missouri State Guard to help out in retaking St. Louis. I would imagine that should go pretty well. Current situation is this: 120,000 men fielded, 146,000 for me. He's got 284,000 Navy tonnage to my 27,000, so about a 10-to-1 advantage there. But I will eventually catch up to him on that. Maybe not catch up to him, but at least close the gap. All right, Battle of St. Louis. Department of the West retreated in panic. Glorious victory as we retake. British ready to assist. Okay, let's see where we're at on that. A city falls. Confederates victorious. Union citizens in dismay. So we're finally seeing the British intervention, which right now stands at only 20%. So we've got to do everything we can to make that happen. All right, First Corps Army of Tennessee is crossing the Ohio River. Right here at Cairo is where the Ohio and Mississippi meet. They're going to be bombarded by Paulding's squadron, but I'm not too worried about that. We'll just kind of set up shop here in Cairo now. What's the situation here? I don't know what this symbol means. In range. Oh, of the Army Commander. Well, we're moving the Army Commander closer, so that makes sense. All right, Jesse, here you go. The Super Duper Stormtroopers, light gray on red. They're going to be a part of Anderson's division in Jackson's corps. under the command of Richard Ewell. They'll take about 7 days. Everybody else in the Army of Northern Virginia has now arrived. So we're going to sit tight, but we may start thinking about an advance. And since we've used the first corps quite a bit, I'm thinking this might be an opportunity to get Buckner's second corps involved. So we're going to move him over to Western Maryland. And then from there, see about a strike on maybe Pittsburgh. Because Pittsburgh's an industrial center. It's on his rail line headed west. It's a major city. It's level 7 city. That would really hurt him pretty bad if we were able to do that. Plus, it might draw out some of this army. He's got a pretty substantial army up here, 23,000 men, just sitting in Harrisburg right now. All right, well, look at that. He moved the Department of Pennsylvania into the space that I left behind. And so in my attempt to try and get another unit involved, now we're going to be stuck with the same unit fighting once again. It's going to be the First Corps going up against the Department of Pennsylvania. Right now he's attacking the Army of Northern Virginia, which doesn't actually have any troops in it. So we'll send the First Corps over and hopefully just auto-resolve this one, because I think we've got a pretty substantial force there to deal with them. We're going to continue the Second Corps' move. They have made it into Western Maryland. All right, who's he sending over that way now? I can see somebody coming by rail. Army of Northeastern Virginia. Interesting. With their 8,000 men. So 13,000 total there. We're just barely in range. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop right there. I know that was a shorter episode today, but took a while to record because I had a lot of setup to do and things like that, and just kind of making sure the game was running right. So I promise tomorrow lots of action. Going to be a lot of fighting because we pretty well set up our army now. There's not any more real need to build new units. And we've got all but the last 2 of the requested Patron units, Andrew Sweets and then the Morgan's Raiders. We will get them as soon as we have the available Florida and Kentucky troops to make that happen. I promise we'll get that going. And I want to actually get Morgan's Raiders doing a Morgan's Raid type of thing. I want to create that as a unit that has bushwhacking ability, and I want to send them up into Ohio just to wreak havoc and to draw his attention. So we'll do that tomorrow in the next episode. We'll probably be fighting another battle at Winchester. Looks like it'll probably be the biggest one yet. And we'll go from there, hopefully get the Western units involved and see what happens. Thanks for watching.